Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to session 109. In today's session you're going to be able to get to watch me trade live the NQ, and also I fired off a trade on the Russell, which I'll explain in great detail. So stick around because I'm going to go into great detail each one of my setups, why I took the setups, where I place my stop, and where I exit the trade. Now, as I always title these videos, the $1,000 a day challenge. Now, depending on the market and the time frame, I vary the income that I'm seeking each day on that market. Depends on the amount of capital I need to have tied up, but typically I'm targeting between $1,000 and $1,500 a day. Now on the NQ today we are going to be trading, and so you'll get to watch me play back a recording as I explain these live trades I took, and it's actually part of a training session I did for my members in my live trading room and in my coaching room. And so I was trading, what was I trading? The 6-tick Renko, and I was after $300 per contract. I was trading, as you'll see, 5 lots. Now also, as I say in every one of my videos are raw, real, and unedited. So if I muck anything up, you're going to have to forgive me. Now, if $1,000 a day is not enough for you, I know that some of the young guns watching this want to earn a lot more. You simply add to your position. That is, you would trade more contracts. But one rule that we never ever break is our money management rule. We never ever risk any more than 1%, and as you build your account you want to get that down to 0.5 to between 0.5 and 1%. It makes trading a lot easier. Now what I also teach in these sessions you can apply to any market, whether you're trading futures, forex, or stocks. As always, I do need to pull up a disclaimer. Here we go. So there is a risk in trading. Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. And the great thing about virtually every trading platform now is you can also trade on the simulator before you actually go live. A very quick advertisement: if you haven't already downloaded my free ebook, The Truth About Day Trading, click on the description link below. I'm going to be showing you a spreadsheet very briefly as well, and even if you've watched my videos before, or if you watched many of my videos, stick around because I'll be giving you some different figures today because we're trading a couple of different markets, and so stick around. But you can also download the spreadsheet that I use using the description link below, and I've even recorded a little video on how to actually use the spreadsheet. Better still, become a member. First of all, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're kept up to date with all of my latest videos. And traders, what I'm about to show you here, for $197 you get all of my indicators. You get over 200 hours of online instruction. There's 36 PowerPoints now. There's literally hundreds of trading resources in the members area. I've been now trading for 28 years. So let me share with you what I've put together now. So all of that is only $197, and I have a bonus going where you can also attend 8 of my live 2-hour coaching sessions. Now they are recorded if you cannot attend. So every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I run a 2-hour session walking traders through step by step exactly what I'm looking for, going through the PowerPoints, teaching them the syntax, the order of the trade from the right hand side of the screen. So you're getting to see exactly what I'm looking for with my trades, and we cover trading psychology, trading plans, and much more. So that's all included for $197. You can join using a link below. Let's now get into this. Now, sorry about my picture there covering part of that slide there, but mastering the art of day trading can be a little bit like drinking out of a fire hose. There are a lot of moving parts, but the great thing is it's mainly about patterns, and it's also not rocket science. Now I'll try to break it down in this session and make it as simple as possible, but it does take time. Now I'm still amazed how traders will watch a couple of videos or read a book and they think they can trade. You've got to give yourself that 90-day internship. You see, traders, there's only one way to learn how to day trade. It's the right way the first time. But unfortunately, traders think that you watch them, it's a bit like playing a piano. You can read a book about it, or learning how to swim. You can read a book about it, watch a video, but there's a big difference to actually doing it live, and that's why I run my live and recorded classes. So I'll make it as simple as I can. What you'll also notice in my videos and my training sessions, I'm very much about the power of quitting. That is, I have a target. I like to hit that target and wrap things up for the day. Now I'm in my 60s. Now I know I don't look like it, but I am nearly 65, and gone are the days when I want to earn my $20,000-$30,000 a day. If you're a young gun, that may be great for you. But what I've found over the years, the best traders will usually trade no more than 3 to 4 hours a day maximum. I try to have my trading wrapped up in well under 2 hours, and usually it's within 30 minutes. For an example, in today's session, as most of my sessions are, 30 minutes and it's over and done with. I've finished. Okay, so that's also a major consideration. So a lot of traders say, why not go for $2, $5, $10,000? Well, I like to get in, get out, get paid. And very important, I'm also what I call a scalper, and so that lowers my risk. Now the other thing too you'll see is we've got to have an edge. A casino has an edge, and the house edge is that we believe in probabilities. And if I have a loss, I've got to move straight on to the next trade, providing it sets up. And this is a very important concept that I won't get into too much in this video, but you've got to really learn to think and trade in probabilities. This is really about money management. So what you're going to see me do today is, so the dark blue line there, traders, I look at that, that is the higher time frame. So what I'm looking for is retracements on my entry chart and then trend continuation trades back in the direction of the higher time frame. And when I get to market highs, or when I get to a pivot, could be the high open, high low close of the day, these sorts of levels, that's where I'm looking for my divergence trades, which you'll actually get to see me take as well. So in today's session, it was a great session. We had 5 trades in total, 4 here on the 6 tick NQ. We had a trend following, reversal, a scalp into the pivot, and another reversal. And on the RTY, I had a reversal right there as well. So I'm going to be explaining those trades to you in detail when I'll have it on playback, and I'll mute it so I can then explain to you exactly what I'm looking for. And down here, unfortunately, just there, I missed that trade. I can't remember what I was doing at the time. Maybe it was faster, but it's amazing when you go back. Oh, why wasn't I in? That's what I call a 2B, by the way. Anyway, still a great trading session, over and out within 30 minutes. Now I want to quickly go into a little bit about having or how to create a trading plan and a realistic target. Unfortunately, so many traders have been sold on the dream that you can go for your $500, $2,000 per contract you trade. Look, you're very experienced traders, and there are very few that are really going for those high amounts per contract. However, what is realistic is $200 to $400 a day is realistic. However, you've got to get there. So what I want to do is run through and just give you a couple of ideas. Start small, aim small, miss small. Is that we want to start on a small target to begin with, and we build with confidence. And this is all about gaining clarity and putting together a trading plan. Now once you start and get clarity and you create that compelling future, it makes it so much easier. Now what would an extra $1,000 a day to you mean? Now that's $5,000 a week. It's a game changer for 90%, probably 98% of the population. Now to do that, we only need to trade 10 contracts by $100 a day, or 5 by $200 a day. Now the number one trade, and I've got a lot of members of course that'll be watching this. What are our number one trades? To 2Bs. Well, this is 2, isn't it? The number one trade is the 2B, followed by the 34B. So let's quickly look at and set a daily target, which is what I have when I trade. Because also, look, doesn't matter how long you've been trading, for most of us, we love to get to break even. When we enter a trade, it's great when you're at break even. It's no longer can become a losing trade. It's even better when you hit your daily target. And so that's what I want to quickly cover with you. So let's say that you start off like on this video, this training session. I'm going to be trading a Renko chart. Now you can apply what I teach you to any sort of chart, whether it be tick, Renko, range charts, time-based charts. It doesn't really matter. I love both tick and Renko. Now in the video here I'm going to be using Renko charts. Now we're on the 6 tick Renko. You need to have $6,000. Now you may say, well, hang on, the day trading margins only need 1,000. That is correct, but what if you have a loss of say $100? You've just lost 10% of your capital. Okay, so you need to be allowing $6,000, because what's 2% of 6,000? 120. So I can have a stop of up to 24 ticks. Now typically, as you're about to see, I would have a stop of between 20 and 22 ticks in a trade. If you don't have the 6,000, the great thing is you can start on the micro, and I'm about to show you how to quickly put the money together to have the 6,000. Now on the other hand, even if you got 6,000, start on a micro. Make all the mistakes you're going to make on a micro contract, okay, rather than on the big contract. Now you see, time's going to pass anyway, traders, so you may as well do it correctly, because if you go and blow $6,000 or blow your account once or twice, the psychological damage it does to a trader is incredible. Now you know what's happening now is I'll have traders on YouTube now logging off. They don't want to hear this. They just want to get the watch the get rich quick videos. Well, get rich slowly. I want to reframe it for you and show you how to do it in under a year. Now if you start with say $600, and there we're going to be targeting, I'll show you how to do this in a moment, $30 a day. Within 12 weeks you've now got an income. If you wanted to stay with that, you'd be trading there around 10 contracts and earning around $1,500 a week, and your account is now nearly $7,000. Now how this compound table works is that you start off by trading one contract, and every time you double your money you start on another. So you go from 600 to 1200, you're on 2. You go to 1800, you're on 3. So none of this crazy compounding nonsense that you see a lot of people use. This is the right way to do it, and we're working on a maximum of a 2% risk. Now once we got that 6,000, we can then roll over and we start trading the big contract, and we're going for $300 a day. You see, the micro is 10% of the value of a large contract. Then look at that there, and by week 11 you've got the potential there of earning your 10,000 plus a week, trading 8 to 10 contracts, and your account size is basically $55,000. Now what we do need to take into account is the total time it's taken. Now if we start with $600, it's going to take us 12 weeks to get to 6,000, and a further 11 weeks to potentially, and I've got to say the word potentially, to get to your 10,000 a week. Now I'm going to be showing you how to do this, and you'll be able to watch me trade live as I explain these trades. Now there, I've total time taken 23 weeks from going live, and the reason I say from going live, it might take you 2 months before you're ready to actually go live. That is, you've got to master the setups, master your trading initially on the simulator. Cut corners early in your career, traders, you're going to start blowing your account. You blow your account 2 or 3 times and you blow your confidence, you hesitate in taking a trade, etc. So when we do trade, these are the areas that you'll hear me talk about. Now The great thing is the best of the best indicators are free. They're available in virtually every trading platform. So save your, if you see anything great on the internet or on Google or on YouTube to buy indicators, let me show you what they are. Okay, save your money for your trading account, maybe a few $100s for an education or a course with me, but save your money, because all of these here are what we call predictive indicators. And the reason they're predictive is they plot automatically. For an example, your pivot levels and Camarilla pivots, there's two types of pivots I use, and they provide in advance support resistance levels which we bounce off every day. And the reason they work so well is they're predictive, because we're professionals, we trade into them. They act as support resistance areas, as all of these other areas do, such as the 89 and 200 EMAs, your intraday swings. All of these, you can get free indicators that will plot basically every one of these here, and they're just brilliant as far as identifying turning points and support resistance levels. Now, what I'm going to do here is play back the video. I'll put the sound on mute because it was actually a training video for my members, and from there, where are we here? I'll turn it on in a moment. But what I'm going to do here is explain. Did I get the right one? No, that's not the right one. What I'm going to do is explain then step by step exactly what I'm looking for. Now, before I roll this out, yes, I've already muted this. You'll have to excuse the band on the bottom here. So what are we looking at exactly? Now, for a start, this is the 6-tick Renko. If you're not familiar with Renko, and this market is the NQ, and once again, it doesn't matter which market you trade, you can apply the same thing. Okay, so it's 6-tick Renko. From the high to the low of these green candles, Renko actually means brick, from the low to the high, excluding any of the little tails, that's $30. So on the NQ, it's $5 a tick. Each one of those steps is worth half of that, $15. So I call these steps. Now, to go and net $300 a day on the 6-tick, you need 3 net 7-step trades a day. Okay, now I don't always get, and I like to get out at 7 steps as a scalper. Get in, get out, get paid. But you'll quite often see I'll take a smaller profit, like up here. You can see there, and no doubt you can see my mouse moving around there. We've got up there, that's a Camarilla pivot up above, and my target of, it was either 21 or 22 ticks, is above the pivot. Now, we're not always guaranteed a punching through the pivot. Quite often you'll go up there and you'll bounce off the pivot. So this is what I call a pivot magnet trade. Pivot magnet trades, when you combine them with an anchor chart, are a good 90% win-loss ratio. 90%. If you're using them in conjunction with an anchor chart. So let me play this here, and I'll sort of describe what I'm looking at. Now, I'm not going to, this goes for 30 minutes, so we're not going to go through the whole 30 minutes. I'm going to jump ahead. I've got 5 live trades here to show you, but I just want to explain exactly what's happening. So first of all, when I take a trade, I want to make sure that my stop loss is usually 1 tick below the little swing there. So you'll see the mouse from the recording moving around. That's my mouse on my face there. Okay, so I want to adjust my stop. Now what I'm pointing out there is that quite often we'll go up there and hit the pivot, and my target is well above that pivot. So we've got a choice here of either just scalp into the pivot and what I call front run. So what exactly is front running? Front running is where I might buy into a pivot but exit 1 or 2 ticks before the pivot. And the reason for that is so many full-time traders, professional traders, we will exit just before the pivot because we know that the amateurs are going for the pivots and above the pivots. However, if you're in a new trend or if you've got great support from your anchor chart, we generally will get through the pivot and continue. So there's a couple of little tricks with that. So let me just move this along. So what I'm waiting for, so you can see here I'm down $195 at this stage, but I'm also trading 5 contracts. Now I pop. Okay, so now, and you'll quite often see me adjust my stop. Look, I never increase, and this is a fatal mistake a lot of traders make. They increase their stop loss as the market goes against them, hoping the market will turn. I'll never increase my stop loss any more than 24 ticks. That's the maximum I will have. So what I might do is pull my stop down below again, and sometimes I'll think I'll increase it if I think the market's stalled, but the bottom line is if I do pull it down, it's still only back down here. And there's another good reason for that, by the way. Once I'm just looking then at the anchor chart and other charts and just checking out, that was actually another market I was about to put a trade on to. But what I'll do when we go back here, once we hit 5 steps, see that there I went to break even. So once I hit 5 steps, which is $75, automatically my dome takes me to break even. Now I could have it go to break even at any level, but if I'm pretty confident of the move, I'll pull my stop back down, because what can actually happen is you hit the 5 steps, the market comes out, stops you out, and then continues. So if I feel that I might get a pullback, I'll then just pull my stop back. So you'll see me do that at times. So let's just see here. We should in a moment hit our target, because we do get filled, and I get my full target here. I was probably saying there, I'm sort of thinking, do I take profits? Because remember, we're still at a pivot, and there we go. So now we're out, we get filled. Okay, so that was a nice trade, and I call that a pivot magnet trade. So let me go ahead now to 4 minutes and 28. Now here it is here. We're now on the Russell. So with the Russell, I'm only trading here a 2-tick Russell, I think it is, and yes it is. And so therefore I'm trading 8 lots rather than 5, because I only need around 2, well, you would only need 2,500. I use 5,000 because I only trade at a maximum usually of 1% risk. But if you're trading this, you'd only need 2,500 per contract, where on the NQ, the higher time frame, you need more money, okay, to trade it the right way. Now I know I'm going in depth, and with training you'll pick this up, but this is the sort of stuff that educators don't want you to know, because they're worried about you won't go ahead and buy their overpriced course. But it's critical you understand this, and after a couple of hours of training you'll soon pick this up. Now for members watching this, you can see there we've got a potential T10 setting up. So you'll hear me quite often use codes, pivot magnet trades, T1, T2. Just the abbreviations, it just makes it a lot easier when I'm training members. So just here I am short, I'm taking a bit of heat, that's what we call this, it's going against me at the moment. So I am short here. My stop, if I remember correctly, here is probably 8 ticks, and I've got an 8-tick target just below the pivot. Now quite often, this is an 89 EMA, quite often then I'm just going back and just checking for another potential setup on the other market as well. And we're in. I'm just going to move this along so you can see this here. Okay, I've gone back, so I'm explaining there, I'm waiting for another setup here. So here we're coming back. Okay, now whoops, and what did I actually fill? Now what I've actually done here, I've entered into, and let me pause this for a moment. So back onto the NQ here, I've now shorted, taken a counter trend trade. Now if you're a new trader, you do not trade counter trend trades at all early in your career. You had an entry here, you had one there, you had one there, you had one there, you had one there. There's no need to counter trend trade initially. In time, for an example, just there I've got a beautiful double top, and for members watching this, you can see I've got a T10 as well. A great setup, but a bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. You want to really get to master one simple rules-based strategy, then add another one, then maybe add another one. And as Linda Raschke says, some of the best traders she knows specialize in one market and one setup, and the easiest to learn are your trend following setups. But I just wanted to mention this here. So I'm not sure if we've already hit our profit on that other contract. We'll see whether we flick over in a moment, but here I'm gone short here on a this is a T10 double top reversal strategy with divergence. Now as you can see there, I've gone to break even pretty quickly. Now usually here's that other trade, by the way. So yes, we're still in it, and what I'd be doing here is looking to hit the pivot and either cover my trade, exit the trade, or to take profits, or at least to tighten my stop loss. And the reason is quite often we will bounce. Now we can quite often go straight through it as well, and I think that's what actually happened with this. So what I'll do is, and I'm usually aiming for my 89 EMA as I come down. Now here am I about to hit it, or am I gonna, and what can actually happen sometimes, so here I'm tightening my stop just here. I want to lock some profit in just there. Now I'm only a tick or two away from exiting this trade, and I'd be very happy. So I'm just sitting there waiting for it, and sometimes it's a bit like watching oil paint dry. Okay, it just doesn't happen quick enough. So if I remember correctly, it actually come back and stopped me out at break even. We'll see this in a moment. I'm probably discussing, I was discussing that with members, what I would be doing just here. Now all of these trades here are rules based, so and there it is there. Now see there how it bounced up and then took me out. Now remember here, quite often we can bounce off the pivot. Now over here we got filled on that trade there in the meantime as well. So that was a double top. Now I know it's only up by a tick or two. Looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. It was also members watching this, it was a T10, and this is the trade I missed. Now I remember why it wasn't in that trade. I was sitting back when I was preparing this thinking, why wasn't I in that trade? And because I was looking at the camera, we were looking at the other trade at that time. So anyway, so this was live, so I was recording these live and trading live here. That's why I missed this particular one. Now the next trade is at 8, let's see here, is at 13.25. I'm just going to move along here for you. Now just there I've gone long. Now notice how quickly this moved. Now this is what we call a pivot magnet trade. Now this is where I'm buying into the pivot. Now a pivot magnet trade, these are 90% trades, but what you're not seeing here is what is happening on the anchor chart 1 as well. So that's a trade. As I mentioned, I was thinking, why wasn't I in that one? And as now I playing back, I remember now why, because we were on talking about the other trade, but that was just a plain vanilla everyday 2B. So just here I've got a 21 tick 22, I think it's either 21 or 22 tick stop there. I think it's 22, and my target is just above. Now I can remember what actually happened here, and so we rallied up and I end up covering the trade and out of break even. So this is what happens a lot. I'm just going to stand here. I've got a standing desk, so just here, stand here a bit more comfortable. Now just there I've missed the pivot by a tick, and this is what I mean about front running. We see this every day, and you've got to be aware of that. So the other trade I showed you, where over here where I punched through, there was a little trick to how I knew that was going to happen, but I was pretty certain that this was going to reverse, and if I remember correctly, I then pulled it down, pulled my target down, and I got out of this trade at basically break even. It wasn't a loss, covered the commissions, but basically at break even. You'll see it'll bounce up in a moment. I pull that down. Now let me go to the next trade. You see, traders, pivots, that's a pivot there, and that's a pivot. This is called a Camarilla pivot, and this is your traditional floor pivot. They are predictive indicators. They're leading indicators because they're based on prior price action, but they're plotting well in advance, and so they're very, very reliable. So I do get out here a little bit further along. I didn't get back up to that pivot, so that's what I mean a bit. So you've got to really watch pivots. It's easy to trade into them, but sometimes you just got to know how to manage the trade as well. And just there, I'm out of that, picked up a couple of ticks. Now the next trade here is in 1925. Just looking 1925, here we go, right here. So just here, I'm about, if I remember correctly, and there we are, I'm about to short. Now why am I shorting here? Now just watch me adjust my stop just there. See what I just did then? My stop was right on the high. I moved it up by 1 tick. So I like to have, as long as it's not what we call a runaway market, and what I mean by that, in a fast moving market, you might have to use a market order where you just click buy and sell, and you might get a lot of what we call slippage. Then I won't, if it's say down here, I'm not going to pull up my stop right up there. Now just here, this is my last trade, and I'll quickly explain what I'm doing here. I want to get out with my 1500 net. I've got my target down here right at the pivot, and I'm now out of that. I just want to get out, get in, get out, get paid. So with that trade, I then hit my target, and if I remember, it continues to continues down. But you know what, traders sometimes say to me, look, you leave a lot on the table. Yep, leave something on the table for the other guy. But if you've hit your target for the day, what the heck, you know. Now it's a little bit like trailing, like see this just there. Okay, so this is me going to straight up and down just there. Okay, now that move there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now that there, traders, is a $150 move. Now that's close, whoops, it's gone back to the other market. That was close to a $200 move per contract. So on 5 contracts, if you were trailing, let's just go back to that, see if it'll go back to this here. Let me just pause that now. So that basically is a $200 move. Now there's lots of things you can do to exit the trade. You can use a hull moving average. They're excellent for trailing. You can use the trigger line. There's lots of things there. 2 lower closes if you want to trail. But once again, what works for me is get in, get out, get paid. So traders, that ended up being a very successful day. From there to there, I was in and out in those 5 trades within 30 minutes. And as now I realize why I missed that, because I was looking back on this, why wasn't I in that one? Because that one there, that's just a plain vanilla entry. So traders, I've covered a lot in this session. This is not rocket science. It's about learning the patterns. Okay, yes, I can help you cut the corners. I can give you everything but screen time. So I've been doing this now for 28 years. You can do this as well, but you've got to put the time into it. Attend the classes, watch my videos. So if you can't attend, for an example, we've got clients or members all around the world, but everything's also recorded, so you can watch those at any time. So come and join me. $197 gets you the works. Now After 1 month, if you choose to stay with the coaching sessions, it's only $97 a month, but you have got to drop me an email. And actually, I think my staff, we actually send you an email at the end of 1 month and say, look, would you like to sign up for the ongoing coaching classes? And on top of that, it's an extra on top of that. If you want to attend my live trading room, I also have a live trading room that I run 3 mornings a week. Okay, traders, look forward to seeing you in my classes as a member, and also on my next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks, traders.